I agree with you on that, and I promote the fact on that it is the team because there's only so much that one ringleader can go and do, and I also this is something, and it's a great question. It's something that my father actually taught me when I was young, which was self entitlement, and it actually plays into a quick story that I'm going to tell you. But my father had this thing about you're my son, and it just so happens that, excuse my French, Don, you fell out of the right set of testicles. And you know what? The truth is, at the end of the day, I worked hard for it. It wasn't given to me. So every Saturday when my friends used to call me, because I went to a good school and had a bunch of great friends, whatever, regardless of what their families did, and they said, Brett, let's go on the boat on Saturdays. And my father used to come and say, okay, you like the credit card in your pocket and the Lamborghini key in your pocket as well? Give me that stuff back and go hang out with your friends. Hard work and determination is what's going to build respect. And that always played into me. That always played into every interview that I did prior to my father passing when it was small stuff. Brett, will you jump in the camera real quick and talk about Lamborghini? My father was very against me ever saying I was who I was in Prestige Imports because I wasn't anybody but my father's son. I needed to earn that respect. So having that understanding and realizing that you see horror movies all the time about successorships that happen in business, and guys come in and they sit down behind that desk and they brush off the person's name that was there prior and say, I'm the new guy and I'm going to make changes and I know everything. I walked into the service facility 7 days after the day that I was appointed CEO. I stood on a small chair. I gathered everybody around. We called everybody in, even the general contractor that was working on the Lamborghini Palm Beach process. I'm talking everybody, wholesalers and all. And I stood up on a chair and I stated to them, guys, listen, I'm going to be very transparent with you. I'm going to be very real with you. I will never be my father, nor will I ever be able to walk in his footsteps. You guys have been able to be guided by him and have certain knowledge that I don't have, nor I might not ever. But together as a team, I want to go for a goal. And I sat there and I broke it down to them from what I wanted to see. I had aspirations of being number one Audi because I knew we can do it. I had aspirations of seeing those small mistakes like you and I talked about, Don, that my father was making in Lamborghini, that it was more of a lifestyle and a brand, and I wanted to do it. And I sat there together and I said, guys, I can't do this by myself. If you go home and you leave here after this meeting and you talk to your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mistress, your psychiatrist, your best friend, and you say that you're concerned about your next week's paycheck because the company is now helmed by a 19-year-old boy, please leave. But at the same time, I'll make the commitment that all of us together will be able to guide and help each other to get that common goal. And there was the slow clap. And that slow clap, Don, I swear to God, I get up every morning and I still hear that because that was the ice break for me to walk in front of people that have worked for my father, guys that have been there 30 plus years, guys that were there 3 weeks, and sit there and take and go, wow, all right, I'm going to be able to take direction from a kid this age and we're going to do it together. And I never was there to overstep my boundaries. I never wanted to go and publicly reprimand. It was all about building value in the team and learning from their mistakes. There was one individual named Jeff Sofer, local Aventura boy, took his father's company from a $300 million company to a $5 billion industry. And I sat down with him and I said, Jeff, I don't know how you did it. Your father's still alive. I know that you were a bit of a crazy individual when you were a kid. What made this happen? How were you able to continue this? And he says, Brett, you know what the truth is? I surrounded myself with people that were a lot smarter than I was. My payroll went up 180%, but I didn't allow them to do my job. I allowed them to sit and talk with me and break down reasons and rules of why they made this and why they made this change or why they want to implement this change so I can learn. It took me years and we did it together. And that's exactly what I tried to believe in. I tried to keep the key members in place that were there for my father so there was still that original DNA with implementing young, new marketing tactics, with a young, new outreach on how I wanted the dealership to be perceived, what we will do to the outside, how we will treat customers. Keep the way we do things, keep the numbers in line, but now let me tell you how we're going to have the customer experience go tenfold. And when I allowed them to do their job and just explained to them that, I think there was a lot of ease in the room. 6 years, going on 7 years later, we're still a working team with all of the key members still in place.